Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Federal Reserve. Good old Jerome Powell. No more rate cuts. It's not good, is it? Well, look, we have to understand something. As it stands right now, we need to just pay attention to how the markets are moving. We are in a macro-based environment because someone hears something that the Fed's saying or insinuating, they're going to do something. They're either going to buy or they're going to sell. All right? When we don't really have anything to worry about, like high interest rates or inflation or a slowdown in economic activity, then investors do what they do. They start using the tools that they have been given to start moving money, whether that is with the US bonds, whether it's going into gold, Bitcoin, stocks, Forex, gold, commodities, you name it. But we are in an environment where something is going to change in the near future. And investors are like, oh my God, I've got all this money and I need to put it to work. Where can I get at least a return? Whether it's short term, well, it's most definitely not long term, because we know with the yields, it's not looking like they want to lock up money for too long. Now you're probably sat there thinking, the f is this guy talking about? Look. We're all for Bitcoin, we're all for crypto. And the whole idea of Bitcoin is to bring that new decentralized way of doing business. I get all that. It's, I have my money, I want to hold it, I get to decide what happens with it. That's fine. But of course, now that we've got this ETF, Wall Street, there's now underlying forces that are going to be impacting all of that process. Me, personally, we're not in a decentralized crypto anymore, unless you're doing staking, and they're already trying to pass legislation for that. So, in my opinion, we need to try and get as much Bitcoin as possible and make as much money as possible, and then get out. That's my opinion. Now, extremists and the enthusiasts and the maximalists, they'll be like, Tino, please, nah, man, buy Bitcoin, hold on to it. Granted, yes, Bitcoin has got a long game to it, okay? But what we're going to do in today's live is just going to cover a couple of things that could be impacting the reason why someone is going to buy or why someone is going to sell. We're going to consider what's going on in the options market, because there's a lot of activity on the options market and not many people are talking about it, and why the $80,000 Bitcoin will be posing as a bit of a problem if price does go up to that point. And looking at things, I mean, another 30 grand move to the upside, with the way things are, it's unlikely, but, you know, anything can happen in good old cryptocurrency, all right? So, firstly, I want to thank you all for yesterday. Yesterday was a mad turnout, so mad love to you all. You know, we had some interesting speakers asking the questions for Jerome Powell. Someone came to me and said Powell must have coughed about 30, 40 times, so mad love to you for counting for that, but the bigger picture suggests that it's going to be higher interest rates for longer. Now we're going to start seeing the true mandatory goal of 2% inflation to start coming into play. So if you are new, mad love and respect for passing through. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, because we do aim to bring you that flavor and fire every single day with the best of our abilities, whether it's a live or a video. But hey, that's another story. So let's get with the program, guys, and let's have a look at what's going on in Wall Street. Here we go. So stock futures remain higher after jobless claims. Jobless what? Jobless what? They can't get it right, ladies and gentlemen. Look, ADP non-farm employment change comes in 192,000 yesterday. Happy days. There's work to be had. And the JOLTS job openings. Now listen, with this JOLTS job openings, there's been a little bit of scrutiny behind the JOLTS job openings. This article went on to say that most companies want to make it look like they are trying to recruit people, just so that shareholders are thinking, the outside shareholders, not necessarily the board of directors, but they want to make it look like their stock is progressive and there's things happening, and they're looking to employ people because they want engineers, they want admin, they want all sorts of people. It's like progressive. You know, in cryptocurrency, when you're looking to buy a coin, you know, you want to dive into the developers. What's going on with the developers? How active are the developers? Where have the developers come from? How many tokens do the developers hold? Like, You're always looking out for these sort of things. And they're saying that job openings is sort of inflated when we come to see if a figure comes in higher than what it normally is. They're just advertising. It doesn't mean that they're taking them on. And that's what the job openings in principle would be suggesting. And that's what this article said. Now, we had the unemployment claims came in lower. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if it's lower, that means there's less people claiming benefit. That means there's more people that are able to spend money. That means that inflation can have a nice little time to the upside again. And that's the problem that Powell has. That's the problem that the Federal Reserve has. So we know interest rates are going to be higher for longer. The article goes on to say, here we go. Stock futures remain high as traders took the latest labor market reading in stride a day after the Federal Reserve signaled rate hikes are unlikely, which is a good sign. We don't want them to increase the interest rates, but the fact that they're holding them and not cutting them is making investors feel a little bit on edge, because if inflation still persists and it's still going up, the Fed has the ace card to pull out and say, you know what, maybe we could actually increase the interest rates one more time. I personally think they are going to increase the interest rates, all right? With that being said, companies need to start taking things into consideration. Consider this. On Tuesday, we had the employment cost index go up. Why is that a problem for companies? Well, look, think about it. It now costs you more money to hold on to people, okay? Naturally, if the employment cost index goes up, companies need to do something about it. And you may have heard already, Google are trying to lay off hundreds of core employees. Those 200 employees from its core organization that include key team members and engineering talent, the best of the best, are being laid off. Now, you might think 200 people in the grand scheme of things of Google isn't that much. But how much of these people are on a year? These people could be on anything. At minimum, I think, around 150K a year. Plus, you may even got people that are on the $1 million mark, depending on what they are and who they, what's their impact, how good are they at what they do. And it's all part of reorganization. The company corresponded in roles in Mexico and India. So that's just another way of them cutting it down and making their balance sheet look decent. All right. But it's already starting to happen. And the tech markets will always, or tech stocks will always be the leaders when it comes to staff turnovers. They will always employ people. They will always remove people. And that's the same thing. See the tech market as sales. If you say, for example, you run a sales team, you're always changing your salespeople all the time. One guy might be good for 5 minutes. Next minute he's dog. And then you bring in another guy who's absolutely fantastic. And that keeps on turning over. And this is what's going on with Google right now. They're getting rid of certain people because maybe it's costing them more money, or luckily enough, they're not actually talking about ChatGPT. So that's good. So AI isn't replacing people, but people in India, Mexico are where they are looking to employ people. In other words, cheaper labor. That's the sad truth. And that's exactly what we've got right now. Going into today, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a big day. Coinbase earnings per share is due. This will have an impact on Bitcoin. Now, it's up 3%, or it finished 3% for the day. And if we just quickly go into the chart and have a look at Coinbase, we can see what it's doing out of hours. It's gapped up, so I think they've actually released the earnings, and that's good news, which naturally is going to be ending to bring Bitcoin a little bit higher up. So we go into BTC, and you can see Bitcoin has managed to make a nice little successful move to the upside to only be giving it back. Now, in terms of the way Bitcoin's been moving, we've already had the idea that this was likely to happen with Bitcoin going into the FOMC. So on Sunday, I shared a projection to the guys. As Platinum members, they get a weekly projection on where I expect Bitcoin to end up going into the week. And my projection was to see Bitcoin come down towards 59,602, with the idea that they were going to pull some interesting behaviors here. And this is an example of when you have to consider a vector candle in sight, which they could go to, but when you take the bigger picture of things, you then say, okay, I have to build that into my position. Now, they didn't go back up above the 65,635, which is where the midpoint of that vector was. But if you look here, if you can see that it's already attempted that vector and aggressively reversed away from it. So that tells me that they've been bidding short-term bids, quickly realize a return, and then they just dropped it back down again. So we saw the success of that weekly outlook view on Bitcoin, and it ended up taking out the 56,460. Happy days. Now, those setups are really for the swing traders. Once a week, I give an outlook on Euro, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, oil, NASDAQ, gold. So I give my weekly outlook on those. And then at the end of the week on the Saturday, I review that and see where we ended up. Okay. Some of the plays in the past, some of the plays have actually taken a little while. So it could be 2 weeks that it could play out. But if you were to hypothetically take the trade from the day it got posted, you'd probably be in decent profits on some of the assets that we've spoken about. Okay. So that's really for the swing traders. Now, going into Bitcoin itself, a couple of things that I want to draw to your attention. What is back? What do I mean by it's back? I'll show you exactly what I mean by it's back. This thing, all right? Investors, you see this green line right here? This is the Glassnode, and this tells us where investors are in terms of net unrealized profit and losses in holding Bitcoin. Now, the thing is, with this chart right here, if we go back in time on Bitcoin, when we hit 20K, Bitcoin was loving life and everyone was in a euphoric state, right? We go to 67,000, right? And we don't see that euphoria. We don't. We went to the all-time high. We don't see the same set of the mentality, which tells me that the only people that are holding Bitcoin are really just the bigger players. You know, your Wall Street dudes or just whales that are over it. All these guys that got euphoric on Bitcoin, all retail guys, they're the guys that have sold up and they're like, you know what, I don't care. And then again, those are the guys that probably had 7 or 5, 6,000 Bitcoin and they sold it up when it went to like $1,000 or even at $20,000. You're sitting nicely, you know? But I think now Bitcoin is not being held by anyone. There's not enough people in retail holding enough or a significant amount of Bitcoin. It's now all bigger players, which is why Bitcoin is now prone to this macro look. In other words, whatever's going on in the stock market is more than likely going to be the same with Bitcoin. And someone said to me that the only reason why Bitcoin goes up as the stock market is because Bitcoin is a lucrative asset and it looks appealing to people. Don't get it twisted. The reason why Vanguard will not promote the ETF because it goes against their philosophy. It's a very volatile asset class. And the more volatility that the asset has, the less likely an investor is going to turn to that as a means of diversification or to protect himself. So we really need Bitcoin to just go stablecoin style and just sit tight. And that is where I think the ETF comes into play, because the ETF can be somewhat controlled, but yet again, it's still a little bit more volatile. But as a money market instrument, an ETF, you'd think that when times are down, the ETF markets can alleviate that pressure on portfolios, okay? Because it's made up of a number of stocks. In this instance, Bitcoin ETF is just Bitcoin. So it all relies on BTC, which leads me over to this first thing that we need to talk about. Bitcoin call writing. Now, this is a little bit tricky to really get you to try and grasp the idea of what's going on with options in Bitcoin, okay? But as we go into the article, the main emphasis is that traders are back to selling high strike out of the money Bitcoin calls to generate yield. So the article goes on to talk about that they're buying call options. So it's similar to the market maker's strategy. They're trying to hedge themselves and prevent exposure. That can mean that they are either buying on spot, selling futures, buying spot, selling futures, because they may expect that they want Bitcoin to go up in the future, and all they're doing is they're effectively exploiting the idea of Bitcoin going down. So they're getting a better DCA as it's going down on spot, and then they're shorting it at the same time. So this is this is what's going on right now in the options market. And as we go into it, okay, we can see that. So it says here, one popular strategy among traders is to sell out of the money call options at higher strike prices, like the 80,000 mark, and set for the end of May. So that's the next strike price. Now, these strikes are beyond the current high range and are less likely to be exercised, allowing traders to collect premiums while reducing their risk exposure. So if Bitcoin ends May below 80,000, the sellers will walk away with the entire premium received. However, they stand to lose if the price surges above 80K and they don't hedge or hold spot market longs. Okay? Now, the thing about this, guys, is Bitcoin is going down. All right. And that's what we're witnessing right now. We go into another article over here. Don't do this to me now. Oh, not again. It's doing it. It's doing it. Everything's shutting down on me yet again, bro. I don't get it. I updated everything this morning. Let me just kill something here. Let me just kill this. I don't understand why it does this to me every single time. I'm going to put this computer in the bin, bro. Right, like really in the bin. I don't care. And it's a decent computer, man. It's top. It's a good computer. I've had this for ages. And why? Why would you do this to me right now? There we go. All right, then. So we'll kill that. Sorry about that, guys. Seems to be happening to me quite a lot. There we go. Yes, I'll reload that. Here we are. So going into this topic right now about the 500 million dump, which is the outflows of the ETF. Don't get it twisted. All right. But according to Bitfinex, they're talking that the effect of the halving event isn't really coming into play. And they think that there's going to be a trading range of swings between 10,000 on each side. $10,000 price range on Bitcoin either side. So let's just go and have a look at what $10,000 price range looks like on BTC. All right. So we go into that. So let's make the assumption that it's $10,000 from this current price point. All right. So we'll go 5-hour chart just for the nature of demonstration. We'll go 10K up. So let's say 58, 68. And we'll do exactly the same thing. Drop it back down again. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. This is our price range. 48K, 68K. And that's what it's going to look like for a few months, according to these dudes at Bitfinex. When you look at it, down at 48, you've got the full vector candle recovery on the 5-hour time frame. We go into the actual daily chart itself, and you can see that Bitcoin looks like it's on suit to actually attack this green vector candle. All right. This is really important. Now, a lot of people are talking about the dominance going down. We go into the dominance of Bitcoin, and you can see Bitcoin dominance is going lower, which is now screaming for the altcoins to start making some flavor. Going into the market outlook on altcoins, you can see that we're not yet in the altcoin market, in my opinion. Like, if we just go into it, we zoom in, we're not in altcoin season as of yet. It doesn't look like it's coming into it just yet. But we really need to see the Bitcoin dominance just take a shoe bag to the downside, which will naturally lead Bitcoin lower. The investors are taking consolidations on Bitcoin, which we already know that that's not the case. It's the idea that the bids are coming in. Now, if you remember last night's live stream, remember we drew off this thing right here. Do you remember the relationship of the bids? They come down, they've marked it up. Now we want to see them come back in again. Well, it looks like we've got quite a few bids coming into play right now, but it wasn't that aggressive. We only had 1.7 million coming into play over here, and we've now got quite a bit of bids coming in. 23 million with $57,800. $57,800 is the next spot for $23 million bid on Bitcoin. Doesn't sound like it's a lot, but nonetheless, it's an area that we're going to get interest. Look, 57,900, another 28 million. If we actually go into this area here and have a look at the real-time large limit orders. So take this down, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a holder, okay? These are the next significant spots in Bitcoin that someone is going to be buying it from, okay? You've got 58,120, all right? We've got 10 million there. Not that big. 58,000, you've got 29 million, all right? 57.9, 29 million. 57.8, 29 million. And then we go to 57,350, you got 5 million. I'm not interested in the 5, nor am I interested in the 2.3 million, nor am I interested in the 6, nor the 1. But we're seeing, again, another 28 million at 56,900. We're starting to see this 28 coming in again. Going down a little bit more, we don't really see anything else. We've got 10 million at the 56,510. Going even further, we don't really see that much of a big... not that big now. Here we go. 16 million at 55,500. Then we got 23 million again at 55,400. So 55,000, between 55,000 and 56,000. So we look at the chart itself and we say, okay, then what can I expect from Bitcoin between 55,000 and 56,000? So we mark that off. This is what you want to do, holders. This is the range where we can expect the bids to start coming into play, which is consistent with Bitcoin coming back into the green vector candle zone. Are you with me so far? So good, ladies and gentlemen. Can you please let me know if you are with me? Commodore 60, call my computer a Commodore 64. Commodore 64. I used to play that, man. Wow. You know. But the 56 and the 54 range would be consistent with a big bid region. That means we're looking for buyers to step in. And that's consistent right here. Look at this. It's quite scary. In my opinion, I believe they're going to sweep this all up. That's what I think they're going to do. All right? Because we're now going to get the impact of what's going on with the Federal Reserve. Okay? We know that they're going to keep interest rates longer. We're going to see more people actually losing their jobs, which is the truth. And tomorrow's market, boy, tomorrow we have got the average hourly earnings. And I'm going to tell you now, if the average hourly earnings comes into play and it goes in higher, that just then solidifies the employment cost index. And it then grants that a lot of companies will probably start doing mass layoffs. Remember, Powell said last night that for them to really start taking things seriously, we would need to see a significant, a couple of tenths increase in the unemployment market. In my opinion, they need it to be 6%. I've got the chart right here, ladies and gentlemen, the 100-year chart, all right? And 6% seems to be a sweet spot in terms of the Fed stepping in and doing something about it or intervening. Talking about interventions, just to understand where we are, the Japanese yen. So far, so good. They're talking about pumping around 3.5 trillion back into the yen, which is going to be good news. Why? Because that means Bitcoin has a good chance of going up even more. That means Euro has a good chance of going up even more. But they're all trying to make sense of this behavior with the yen. Why are they allowing it to just be so deflated? It's just getting smacked to the downside. It is very important that the yen itself, for the dollar to go down, the yen needs to start marking up. But the problem is it will be a short-term thing because they can't have too much of a strong yen. They can't. It hurts their trade. Okay? Now, going into Ethereum, just having a look at Ethereum across the board. What time are we on right now? 6 minutes to go into the market. So let's just actually have a look at where we are in terms of smaller time frames on Bitcoin. I'll do the same for Ethereum and the same for Solana. So stick around for that bad boy right there. So here we go. Bitcoin, depth of market, order flow, Bookmap. What have we got? Well, we're seeing that in terms of the Bookmap, we've got some offers coming into play. 59,400 with 548 Bitcoin to sell. Now, let's just take that logic and go over, what was it? 548? Wait. Where are you? 548 Bitcoin at 59,400. So just quickly go over to that and have a look. 59,400 will put a smack bang right there. Okay, then. If they haven't updated it, we're just going to zoom in and have a look if that order is sat nicely. 500 Bitcoin. Not really seeing it. 59,400. I want to see if it's going to appear. Not yet. Keep going. There we are. We're inside that range, but it's not there. Doesn't seem to be showing anything. I'm not seeing that 500 order. Who on earth is bidding up there? Why would you have a limp? Okay. He's buying up there. Wow. What a guy. That's weird. Very weird. So that bid up there at 59,400 might be a point of interest for us. Could be a point of interest. Maybe. 59,400. But we're at the whole and half number principle right now. The markets are free with information, so we don't have to worry about anything. And then Coinbase is going to be declaring its earnings. I'm waiting to see what that's going to be like. We'll go into EXO charts for a split second and have a look at where Bitcoin is in terms of profile. So on the one-day chart, you can see Bitcoin is trading towards the value area high. So it hasn't really been going for anyone at a higher premium. So they're not really paying the high fees right now or the high cost of buying Bitcoin. It's not in that area. And when Bitcoin goes above the 58,993, and that would be the start of the value area high, that would then be consistent with a premium in Bitcoin. So there are a lot of people up here that are paying quite a bit for Bitcoin. Now that's consistent. This area is consistent with reversals. And you can see they've already got people ready to plant their liquidity in that range to get sold from. Remember, it moves up. They are selling the Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin coming to a basement near you. That is hilarious. Yes, my Bookmap is set to perpetual, actually. I think it's, yeah, Bookmap perpetual, I think it is. No, USDT margined, perpetual futures, okay? And, I mean, look, we got bids down here. Look at that. This is our range, ladies and gentlemen. 59,500, 57,800. This is our range. All right, that's what we're working with today. And the offers, as long as the offers keep on coming in, then Bitcoin has got a good chance of climbing higher and higher. But I'd just be very careful, ladies and gentlemen, only because of the way Bitcoin is and where we are. We've had non-stop movement to the downside. Naturally, we're expecting retraces across the board. Still got resistances at the 50 EMA right there. Going into Solana, you can see Solana's doing relatively well. She's starting to mark up higher, but we are going into certain resistances that we need to be very cautious of. The big green vector candle coming into play, but not going anywhere. That gives me a sign that there was an aggressive amount of offers coming in here. That means they were selling a lot of Solana, and now the people that are late to the party are going to be stepping in thinking, oh my God, it's going to go higher, which naturally it can go higher, and then you'll get a climatic move, which could then start posing as a little bit of a problem for the guys who are going long. Looking at the guys who are going long, well, they had their liquidity swiped. So you've had 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drops that's been worked on. But you can see already, look, people are buying Bitcoin. It's gone up. We had some dude over here who's gone long at the 59,010. And then you had another guy who went long here at 58,706. So, and these guys down here going short. Look, this is sad. Look at where they're going short from. Someone is selling. Now, the thing is, you've got to understand is this sell order right here could be a liquidation as well. All right, it could be some guys' long liquidation getting filled. We don't know fully, but the practice is that when you see a green bar, it means that they're buying. When you see a negative 1 dot, it means that they are selling. And as long as you're paying attention to a chart like this, you're going to get a feel for how they could be moving. I mean, we look at this and think, oh my God, the shorts are going to end up paying the price. The faster they move up, the more inclined I am to believe that they're not going to keep moving up. All right, that's my logic. So you just got to take that into consideration. Okay, what have we got here? Tino on EXO Chart. Why am I seeing total bid 4K to 1K on the ask? Damn price keeps claiming 4K to 1K. Well, on EXO Charts, it all depends on your settings. If you've got different settings, different tick sizes, I've got a tick 125 and per multiplier, again, on both of them. So if you change the ticks, you're going to see different values across the board. So just take that into consideration, all right? But here we go. The market is now getting ready to open up. We've got Euro taking a shoe bag to the downside. That's good news. Gold taking a shoe bag to the downside. Tesla's gapped up. No gap up on Tesla. That's fine. I want to see where Coinbase is at. Coinbase is pretty much going to dictate exactly what could be happening to Bitcoin very shortly. Here we go. So we've had a gap up on Coinbase. Actually, when is Coin going to declare it? Let's quickly go into Coin. It's gapping up. It's up 7%. The volume is relatively down. Just need to wait and see what goes off here. Let's go and have a look at the ETF itself. The Bitcoin ETF, it's gapped up, gone into a gap-filling recovery zone. We've got another gap up here. We still got some more gaps down here that we want to see them getting recovered. Look, we marked these off ages ago, but they're working at coming back into this gap down here around the 31 zone. I think the 31 zone could be a nice sweet spot in my honest opinion. Having a look at that. Quickly going over into USDT chart. So we got a little bit of consolidation, 5% on the yield right there. It would only make sense of it to come back down towards this area where they can start buying effectively selling the Bitcoin, if you understand what I mean. Here we go. So what we got here? Can you please look at ZETA? What do you think? It looks good? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. ZETA chain, ZETA spot. Let's go with iBIT. Does it look good? Let's look at it from a bigger time frame perspective, all right? Relatively new. I'd expect them to come down a bit more. I think 90 cents will be a sweet spot. And the only reason I say that is because they're rejecting this area quite aggressively. The faster they move up, the sooner they're coming back down. That's the truth. The assets that climb, they climb with pace. Look, nice controlled climb to the upside. We've been watching ZETA for a little while, and you can see like they've claimed that. We spoke about it ages ago, and they've just continued back up to go into the vector candle recovery of the wick. I remember talking about it. And now they've just slowly climbed price, and then you just look at how they're behaving over here. They've dropped it, consolidate, fast move up, and then they're just bringing it back down again. So just be careful with the ZETA, okay? When will the Dom Masterclass session happen? That is happening very soon. I'm getting that all set up. That's for the Platinum members. I'm going to be doing a session with the Platinum guys to explain to them the depth of market, okay? Just incorporating the hybrid system, depth of market, and just do like a Q&A on how to understand how to translate behavior with the depth of market. Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen, all right? The depth of market is really for the scalpers, all right? If you're a scalper, that's your environment. That's where it's all at for you. No lie. That's my personality. I'm an impulsive dude. You know, I'm the guy that will, if I didn't have to go places today, I'd probably jump on a flight to Florida. That's the kind of guy I am. But I need to obviously get things sorted out, which then gives me time to, you know, to think about what I'm doing. But I'm very impulsive, and that's my nature as a trader. The same way I'm quick to take a trade is the same way I'm quick to close it. You saw what happened yesterday on the live when we closed that S&P trade. I just got the sense, and then it just took a shoe bag to the downside. I could have been the dude like, yeah, man, I want to make some more money. And you can't have that mentality when you're scalping. There is no concept of making money when you're scalping. You can't be thinking about money. You have to be thinking about execution. Execution is where you need to be when it comes to scalping. Swing traders have the time to think about money. They do, because they're looking for a bigger move to happen. All right, they're not interested in $5, $10, $20 moves. Me, I'm interested in $25, $30 tick moves or seven tick moves. You know, on the S&P. I'll give you an example right now. If we go and have a look at the S&P, this is my cup of tea. Look, oh man. You're gonna do it, aren't you? Gotta wait. Yeah. Look, S&P right now is going down into vector recovery. Tapping that 800 EMA. We've got an imbalance zone right down there. We could take. Problem is, it's a bit of a. I've taken a quick scalp on it. Quick scalp on the funded accounts. And no, this is not a funded account. No, you joker. No, don't want that. No, damn. Oh man, I just took it on a. For God's sake, man. Oh my days! Look at that! I can't believe that. Shoot. That's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for those quick little scalps. Wait there. Let's see if we can take advantage of that. For God's sake, I've missed it. That's really cheesed me off. I was right with that. Could have picked myself like 3, 4 ticks, happy days. I've got to wait. I'm missing it. No, I'm not missing it. Wait. All right, here's an example of it, right? So we're just going at 2 contract sizes. Let's say, all right, with the lows of the profile right now. Okay, look at this. Here we are. So this is where we are at the lows of profile. This is momentum. I've got to try momentum trades right here. I've got to be very quick with it because it can snap back up. But they're going for the liquidity down here. So they're going to try and keep on going lower. I may have got in prematurely, but they're starting to offer out, sell out. Here we go. Keep going. Keep sweeping lower. Keep going. Eat that liquidity, go. No bids. I don't want bids coming in just yet. Got to be careful. There she is. Push down. Keep going. Got to be careful with this one because I've done it too late. I've missed out on the opportunity for it. Big time, I missed out. Bids are coming in, so I might need to get rid of this. I'll quickly close off. $75 loss there. I have to be careful with it. But I'm going to try. We could try and scalp back up again. Here's an example, just scalping back upwards. It's going up and down, up and down, up and down. Here we go. We'll try and take advantage of a scalp upwards. See if the bids are going to come into play and look to try and mark prices up. Let's see. It's just caught me off guard, this has. It's really cheesed me off. I've missed that one. So still going down. Probably try and sweep that low again. I need to get out of that weight. Tino, wait. They just tapped it twice. Wait for it. Wait for it. Keep going. Keep going, go on. Keep sweeping up, go on. You're bidding out. Try go back to that 2,600 up there, which is 5,072. See if they can do it. If not, then we might need to get out of it. Keep going. Hold. It's holding. I might need to get out of the close or the sweep of that. Right, they've gone down 3 times to there, and they've now reversed from it. So we're only going to assume that the bids are still holding out in this area. So that should lead it to continue back up again. Come on. Pulling off the offers right there. That's good news for me. I like that. Offers are disappearing. So we're going to try and climb up again. Keep going. Come on, man. Don't take the mic. Just do the move. I'm bored of you already. Come on. There she goes. Come on. Sweep up. Bit more aggressive move to the upside. That's what I want to see. Keep on going. Try and make back our money what we lost. Come on. 2006 right there. There's big contracts up there. So they can transact. Big orders coming in. 469 right there. That's good news for me. Keep going. Keep going. Come on. Keep going. I know it's going to start making a nice reversal back up because it's just a little stop run down, but it could come back down again. Offers are coming in again there. I'm not liking that. Let's see if we can keep going. Come on. Keep going. Keep going. Go for the sweep. Go for the sweep. Push. Is NASDAQ doing it? No, it's not. There, you see what I mean? Look at the trickery of those dudes. Try and go back up. Nah, we got to be careful with this one. Should have closed out. But this is what happens. Come on, can we get back into it? Make the move. 500. They're offering out quite a bit now. That's not good. I'm not liking that. But there's a big bid right there. 600. Could lead it lower. There's a profile right there that we got to be very careful of, because if they release from there and no one steps into support, it's going to go lower. Could go lower. Yeah, they're going to do it. I need to see that breakdown there. I'll let them touch it and then see if the reversal comes into play. This is the S&P, by the way. It's very boring right now, but the markets are now open. So just giving them a chance to do their thing. There she is. See that there? They tried to go. They swept it. So now here's the proof if I need to get out of this or not. I can take a $400 loss, no problem. But now they've just swept that low. So I just need to wait and see. This is where you're finding out the low, if the low is present or not. Is this the low? Because they've now come back up into that zone. So I need to say to myself, can I absorb this and be like, you know what? If it continues to go down, I just take a $500 loss, no problem. But I'm in a zone. There's a red vector candle wick right there. So this is where it gets interesting for me. Oh, you see that? See these guys just stepping in all of a sudden. So this area seems to be a bit of an area of interest for me. The markets are open. So now I'm going to be saying to myself, right, we just swept the lows. This should then now principally show me the proof that the guys want to buy as low as possible and then offer out to the upside. But look, they just bring it back down again. So this area seems to be very important. And I'm conscious of time, but I just want to see them make the move. But they're eating the bits. See, the bids are coming back in again. Quite heavy on the offers. There's 201 up there. So this is what I mean about when you're scalping. These are the things that you're looking for, continuously having to pay attention to. All those bids just stepped in. That tells me that they want this zone. They're protecting the zone. So I can only associate price to start going to the upside right now. That's all I can associate. How long will it take is a different story. So I'm just watching this now. I'm only using 2 contracts, but it's the takeaway. What you got to take away is what's going on right now and how we're understanding the flow of orders coming in right now. Look, 279, 281, 300. So someone's there like, let me buy up as many contracts as possible. Gimme, 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 gimme. And the next thing is it's going to go to the next spot where they can do the same thing, which is that 2,600 at the 5,072 zone. I'd want to see it get to that point. Happy days. So now this is the 3rd time we've gone to this point. Now we're seeing guys coming in, buying 325. Here we go. That's good news. 243, 225 right there on the bid side. So it looks like they're going to be moving away from this profile and protecting this range. So now we need to see them eat the offers until they find the next spot in the chart that would then suggest, hold on a second, we need to start selling from here, okay? Which will naturally bring price down again. Look, this is the S&P. It does this. Point of control's changed. Now that changes everything. So point of control has now changed. It went from up here to down here. So now we can say, hold on, is this an area where they're going to be selling from? Or is this an area where they're going to be bidding from to support? Look at the difference between the bids and the offers. There are more bids here, which means that they could go down, but it could also imply that these guys are protecting their positions. So we need to see it move aggressively away so that then the next time the offers come into play, they're going to be wanting to sell into those guys who are going to be buying it, okay? It's very tricky when we talk about it like this, but I'm giving you what my thought process is in my head. Look, see this area here? We've come back to this area nearly 4 times and they've moved away from it. So it looks like there is a wall right now. Someone's there like, forget you, I'm selling into you. I'm selling into you, and the bids are like, come on, give me your flavor. I'll take it from you. I'll take it from you. We'll let it go down a little bit. We'll pick up a few more, but we ain't going to let you go too far down. We look like we've effectively set the range. Now we want to see if you bids are really strong. Are you going to hold out at this point, or are you going to keep on picking it up cheaper? So that's sort of the dialogue that you've got to have in your head when you are trading. Now, the S&P can do this and it can stay like this for quite some time. It is a pain in the ass, but I hope that makes sense if you understand what I'm saying. All right, we're maybe taking a little bit of loss. I've got to give it a couple of more minutes. Let's see if it goes down beyond the profile, then I'll close out and just take a loss. But if it does manage to succeed this range right here, then we're more than likely going to see some interesting price action on the S&P in a few moments. Here we go. Let me see if I can see. It's going down towards it. Stopping volume candle right here. But the bids are coming in again. See how they've absorbed all those bids? Now we're going to wait for them to come back in again to justify why I should stay in the trade. Okay? Offers there, 289. That could be a good sign. Could be a good sign. They could start lifting. There we go. 300, 348. Someone's stepping in. Break away from the point of control. We really need to see them do that. But it doesn't look like they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it now. Someone's there at that 66. They like that range. Come on. Come on. Get ready to close. Come on. Test one more time. And there's a problem here. They could actually go for a little bit more of a profile down below. Come on. Prove to me that you're going to break. 254 right there on the bid. See, it's coming back up again. So you can see I'm like, hold on a second. Did they just come down and buy it to lift it back up again? What's this zone? Vector candle recovery. It's the 30-second time frame on the S&P. Okay? So one more time towards this zone. They break it, this thing's going up. Because look at these imbalances up here. They can transact in those areas. They really need to try and surpass this point. Otherwise, it's just not going to work for me, and I just cut out and take a new trade. See, it's gone down again, and it's moving away from that point. I'm just getting the feels that someone is here. Look, the point of control could actually change again. Someone is in this area. Someone is in this area. 210 right there on the offer, on the bid, sorry. Someone's hot. They've held price. That's good. They're holding it. Point of control changes. Awesome. Okay, so someone is here brewing. They could be waiting for news, and I could be on the wrong side of the trade. They're pulling off the offers. Here we go. I could open another position. No. Good thing you didn't, Tino. See what's going on now? How they're going up and down in this range. Up and down, up and down. They're trying to find their feet. There's 5,000 contracts right there. It's decent. And every time it goes to that point of control, it bounces. That 5,066 seems to be a point of interest right now on the S&P. I'm just waiting for that burp to the upside. Otherwise, we'll cut out, we close off our trade. And it can take a while, especially the S&P when it ranges like this is dead. I don't like trading these times because it's just dead ranges. But if you can grab the volatility, it's happy days up or down, whatever direction you're looking in. So if you imagine right now, if I was running shorts, okay, I'd be seeing price going up against me and then it comes down. Then it goes up against me and it goes down. When it gets to these areas, when you're aligned with the business model of them picking up bids, the only thing that you can be associating is they're bidding out for more. Okay? So look, they've just swept lower again, come back into it. One last attempt. Yeah, I'm out. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait. 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 I need to see that close strong. I need to see the close strong. Close strong. Close strong. Close strong. Didn't close strong. One last attempt. Come on. Building the profile back to the point of control. Can they do it? No one's in the profile there, so that could be a bit of a problem for me. Yeah, we're out. That's it. $700 loss. That's what happens. But it's in these areas here where you can then try and catch the reversals, you know? So that's what I'm looking at all the time, you know? Now they're breaking it down, but this could be a point of a reversal. Again, I could be right. Well, what time are we on? Try and make the recovery back. We've got to wait and see. How's the NASDAQ faring? NASDAQ's up, okay. But they're going back into vectors over here. So there's the opening range down there. That makes sense. Okay. Any questions on that? It's not random gambling at all. This is not gambling whatsoever. It's managing your risks. It's understanding certain plays. And this is what happens. If you take a loss on trading, it's called gambling. Please, bro. Do you know what I mean? That short would have worked nicely. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, but that's the way the game is. 386 right there. Still playing the range. Red vector candle. What time are we on? 10 to. So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for some commitment in here to suggest a potential. Swing trading mentality is tough. No, it's easier. Trust me, it is. Swing trading mentality is way easier than anything. And you're having to go through this discussion continuously in your head. Here we go. So they're sitting in the opening range right now. S&P still seems to be going down. Why is my EXO charts not actually on? Hold on a second. I need to bring the EXO charts. We could see still offering out. The offers are still dominating. Look at that. Huge amount of offers. Then you're going to see a big batch of bids coming in. I'm going to commit to $1,000 loss just to make sure that we're not getting caught out in anything. Here we go. So NASDAQ, right. So NASDAQ is actually coming down, but NASDAQ could be going into starting the offers there. NASDAQ at the lows of its profile. It could be just bleeding out, but I'd be later on, I'll be looking for sharp reversals on the NASDAQ and the S&P, which is what I'll be trading anyway. Let me just go over here. Yeah, look at that. Nice reversals. Okay. Let's try it. Go back up. Start eating into the bids, offers. There she is. 200 there. Come on, keep going. You really do want it lower. I need to see NASDAQ. Play the game. Come on, NASDAQ. There she is. NASDAQ going up, if you can see it. NASDAQ moving up nicely. S&P will start climbing up. Follow suit. Keep going. We could then add positions. Up she goes back to the point of control. Keep going. Add to, I'm going to try and add to the position. Increase the size a little bit. Take advantage of that. Might cost me a little bit, but I've got to be very I've got to be very cautious with this. Keep going with the momentum. No. Keep going back up. Ah, green vector on the 32nd. Here we go. We should see them back in again. Start marking up. Keep going. Back to point of control. It's logically where we expect them to try and run towards, but the bids seem to be holding out. I'm going to try and get rid of this if I can see the sweep up. Oh, back down again. Keep going up. NASDAQ wants to try it. Continuation. Go into the point of control, 257, 301. That's good news for me. Let's see if they can contain that. Eating the offers now. Come on. Still seeing a little bit of selling there, which is a bit of a problem. But it's just, if I close this off now, then I could actually miss out on the sharp reversal back up. But Nasdaq's going to try and climb up. S&P should follow suit. There was a little bit of short cover in there, which is what led price to go up. Now we're going to see if they're going to try and run for the stops on the shorts. Come on. Full recovery of the vector could be on the cards for S&P, but I'm assuming that they're going to try and go back into it again. Sweep up. 256, 286 there. That's good. There's offers joining together. Back down again. Might need to close this. Wait for it. Nasdaq's pushing up a little bit. Recovering that green vector. Wait for it. Go back in. Keep going. Still want it, man. This is a very fast market. Yeah, because I'm using 4 contract sizes. It can lose a bit. It can lose a little bit. Come on. Nasdaq's going to do it. Sharp reversal. Come on. No reversal. It's not going to do it. Having a bit of a shoe bag day. Hold on. Lift. There she is. There's those bids. Those crafty gits came all the way back down again. This should see the move back up. Come on. That's what we're waiting for. Don't get thrown off any trade, ladies and gentlemen. When you start worrying about money lost, then there's no point in trading at all. You know, you've got to wait for the move. You've got to wait for the asset to show you where it's going to go. You've got to have in the back of your mind, like, it can go back down again. It wouldn't bother me at all. But you can't react to any money lost. You know in your head how much you're happy to lose. Okay. Frankly, I give myself around a 2.5K loss on each account that I trade on. Okay. But look at the spot that I've picked that I'm taking the trades from. Okay. I'm improving the chance of seeing a return on my account when I pick these spots so I can trade back into the point of control. We get back to the point of control to 5,066. That will take us on just a $75 move. We would have made back our money and we can just scratch the trade off. Okay, this is now just trying to recover your loss on the volatility of the asset, but they could actually sharply move up in a second because Nasdaq is starting to show that promise going into the VWAP. So as long as I can recover what I've lost, then that's a good day for me, and then we'll just continue about our trading. Here we go. Come on. Make the flavor some move. Keep doing it. 300 bids right there. So I'm looking at that thinking, they really need to be supporting this point. They've come down to it again and bounced away from it. All right, so now they're trying to move away. Nasdaq could be keeping on this move up towards the daily open, but I've just got to wait. And this is what happens. You see that little profile move there? You see that? That little fast move up there kind of gives me a clue that there's going to be some pressure coming into the chart very, very soon if they're going to do what I think they're going to do. I've got an imbalance here on the Nasdaq, which could then force me out of it. You see this area here? That area could force me out of the trade. So if Nasdaq decides to come back down into this area, then that means I'm going to have to get rid of the trade, okay? But it looks like it wants to show promise of climbing higher. So we then go into this right here. Wait, stop doing that. No. There we are. Put that there. Nasdaq's trying to move up. As long as Nasdaq can keep moving up and eat these imbalances at 17,540, then we only associate the idea that the S&P is going to continue back up again. Okay, so we're going to wait and see if they can actually do it. I'm doing this. I know my live is a little bit long, guys. You know, I know my live is a little bit long, but it's just giving you an opportunity to understand how I'm scalping, you know. And this is what's going through my mind. Look at the range that I'm in right now. Where am I at? I'm at the lows of the profile. I can only associate price going back up. Okay, so I'm just looking now for that big push up. They've cleared the vector candle imbalance down there. I want to see him try and get to that 50 EMA. Then that'll be a little bit more confidence in the trade. I just need Nasdaq to keep on marking up. And as long as Nasdaq, come on, there you go. There's the push. Now you're going to see some movement on the S&P very shortly. Here we go. Lift. See all these buys. Look at this. All these guys have come in all at the lows. So it's just consistent with them offering out. So we just need to see Nasdaq just continue out to the upside. Here she goes. Get ready for it. There's your move. Point of control, come on. Keep going. They surpass this point of control point, then that's good news for me. Then I'm into a good trade. We're going back into the VWAP on the NASDAQ. Keep going, NASDAQ. Keep going. Keep lifting. Keep lifting. Don't sell from there. Don't sell. Don't sell. You're eating the offers. Look at those bids now. Come on. Keep going. Mark the move. We're back into, we're break even. NASDAQ really needs to follow through with this. The daily opens are naturally going to trigger interest because then the NASDAQ will be trading positively. So we're now looking for that 5,065 to then see the flush up to eat the liquidity inside of here to start grabbing people's interest. I've got to be careful because it can snap down. I need NASDAQ to just keep going up. Yeah, it looks like NASDAQ could actually continue higher. We're going into the daily VWAP on NASDAQ right now, so we really need to see them do that. Come on. Ah, you crafty gits. See what I mean? How it just goes up, comes down. But when you have the dialogue of watching the bids and the asks right here, I've got 356 offered out right there, so that could be a problem for us. Now they're coming back into it. They need to really sustain this. They really want to go for that offer zone. And this is why trading the New York session on the S&P sometimes is a little bit of a pain in the ass. Could be because we got some news announcements coming out soon on earnings. So they could be waiting for that. So, come on. We need to really see them clear this range here. They're building a profile. I want to see them try and gun for that 5,000 point of control again. S&P really needs to do that. Otherwise, it's in the bin. NASDAQ right there seems to be stalling out, not giving me what I want to see. I've got some bids coming in right there, but maybe not enough just yet. Got to be careful. NASDAQ likes to do this stop, run down, and bounce. So I'm not going to get fooled by NASDAQ just yet. Is she going to do it? She's probably going to do it, but might need to call it quits on this. Might need to call it quits. This trade could take a little while. They don't seem to be going anywhere. They're just holding out. I haven't seen too many bids coming in to protect as much. I need to see the offers getting triggered. But that 356 is a point of interest for me. NASDAQ's now snapping up. We've got some... This is what I'm looking at from the NASDAQ perspective. See that there? That right there. They've gone back into that. So this is the test of it. So I might need to be careful here. All right, we got some news. Some news is coming out. There it is. Some news is coming out. Wait for the stop run. Wait for the stop run, T. It's 3 o'clock. Is this your reversal? Is this the reversal? I think it is. It's 3 o'clock, New York time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard. Why? Someone's got news. I've got to get out of that. Got to get out of that. Yeah, $1,300 loss. Got to be careful with it, guys. Some news is coming out. That's not going to be favorable for me. But yeah, this is how the average session can play out, ladies and gentlemen. That's why when you see at the end of a trading session, my win rate sometimes is around 59% or 60%, or some days I do get the 90s and the 100%. But this is what's going on. I'm literally like just scalping left, right, and center. We can even play the flavor again, try and take advantage of the move back up because I will catch the move. I will catch it. It's just a matter of just playing the game. And when you've got your setup and you're waiting for it. Does that make sense? Yeah, but you've got to understand, like, it's in relative to the account. It's all good. We can exploit this easily. I can get back into a trade and make the same back. Now it's $1,300. It's not much in terms of relation to the account itself. All right, all I need to do is just go in at 5 contracts and then bang, I make it back in literally 10 ticks. So you can see the volatility. Got out decent. Could have done well on a short right there. Could have. But that's the shoulda, woulda, coulda. But this is where risk comes into play, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you can't piss around with risk. You got to know what you're happy to lose. I'm happy to lose that. It's in my boundary. Because I know I can make it back. It's when you start losing 7, 8 grand where it can be a bit of a problem for you to make it back. And even then, if I lose about 7 or 8 grand, okay, in a trade, for example, because I'm trading with size, the only thing that's on my head is I've got to scale down now and just build it back up. That's boring, you know? But here we go. Got criteria here. Move away from the VWAP. This is what we look for all the time. I look for these sort of plays. Now, price is starting to get a little bit chaotic. We've got the offers coming in here at 598. They're building a profile, value area low. It's consistent with that range. I could have you here all day, ladies and gentlemen, go in and out and scalp the life out of it. But listen, mad love and respect. Sorry the live is so long, man. But I hope it makes sense. Hold on. What's going on here? What's going on? This is... What? Does that make sense? Yeah, if we're good with that, we're good with that. But this is what I'm doing. But the thing is, I'm doing this on 9 different accounts. 10, 12 different accounts. You know? That's how I'm doing this. So I'm having to place the order individually off each one. So I go into this and, you know, I get all of these and I'm copying the trade. Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. I'm doing it like that, you know. But let's see what happens. Be sure to like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be checking in with you all tomorrow. Tonight, he's making the move. I've got to do it. Sorry, guys, I'm out.